everybody, this is Gurf Kirsten, and this is a video about police brutality and how I'm sick of it. How I'm sick and tired of the police brutalizing me and brutalizing the people of America. You cops are supposed to serve and protect me, and why are you going around brutalizing everybody with your power, with your abuse of power? It's disgusting. It makes me sick. I'm so mad I could enter a vortex. Okay, so listen. So every Tuesday night, I like to go out on my front lawn at around midnight, and I'd like to take out my chainsaw. And I like to rev it as loud as possible as a tribute to Michael Jackson. Because I know Michael Jackson died a couple, years ago, but I'm still not over it, okay? I'm still not over the fact that Michael Jackson died. And so anyways, that's just beside the point. Everyone misses Michael Jackson. So I like to go out on my lawn at midnight, Tuesday nights, and rev my chainsaw as loud as possible and, just blast some Michael Jackson on my stereo. I only do it for 5 minutes at the most. But every time I do it, this stupid tramp lady neighbor calls my house and says, "Could you please stop revving your chainsaw at midnight every night?" And, she always calls me in the morning when I'm not feeling well. And I'm like, "Listen, I'm not revving my chainsaw now. I was revving my chainsaw last night, ho. So, what are you going to do about it?" So, the other night I was revving my chainsaw. It was midnight, and finally the lady neighbor comes out of her house, and I got so mad. I'm like, if she comes over to me, she better get her ass back inside her stupid house. But she comes over to me, and she's screaming at me, right? Really screaming at me, this chick has mental problems, man. She's like, "Could you please stop revving your chainsaw? It's midnight and my kids are asleep." And I was like, "Fuck your kids, lady. Tell your kids to get a job." And she's like, "My kids are 7 and 4. And I'm like, "Well, it's never too early for them to work." And so I didn't think anything of it. I just started revving my chainsaw louder and louder. And then, wouldn't you know it, who pulls up to my house? A fucking pig. And by the way, pig is a slang that cool people use against the cops. We call them pigs. So the cop comes out of his car, and he comes up to me, and he's like, Are we having a problem, sir? Are you revving your chainsaw at midnight and disturbing the peace?" So I'm like, the cop is being all uppity about it. He's like, "Listen, you can't make noise like that when you rev your chainsaw at midnight." And then he was like, "Why are you using a chainsaw this late at night anyway? Are you on some type of drugs?" And I'm like, "What? I can't rev a chainsaw in the middle of the night without being on drugs or something? You gonna discriminate against me, cop? Gonna discriminate against me because I got a beard? Huh? You gonna make up laws to discriminate people? Huh? You fucking cop!" He comes up to me and I'm like, "Whoa, back off, man. Hey, back off. Take it easy. Take it easy, cop. Don't do anything crazy." And so, he started getting in my face, right? And he's like, he moved in an inch closer. He said, "Listen, all you need to do is go inside and stop revving your chainsaw at midnight, and we won't have a problem." And I'm like, "Fuck you, cop. You think just because you're wearing a badge, you can tell me to go inside when I don't feel like going inside? I got a sleeping problem, cop. I don't like going to bed at 12 o'clock. I'm sorry I'm not some nerd that goes to bed at normal hours. And I'm sorry I'm not some lame ass that only uses a chainsaw during the day. It's daytime out. I'm gonna use my chainsaw to cut down trees, but only in the day because I'm a pussy." Fucking cop. And so, the cop, I was looking at the cop are we done? Leave me alone. Don't you have other innocent people to brutalize? And the cop was "Listen, I'm just asking you to go inside. I'm not gonna arrest you." And I was like, "Fuck you, cop." And then I took out my cell phone, right? And I should have been filming it. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about it, because if I had filmed it, this story would be all over the news already. But I pulled out my cell phone and I started, I went on YouTube and I pulled up the song NWA, Fuck the Police. If you haven't heard of NWA, they're this underground rap group that only cool people know about from like the 80s. A lot of people haven't heard of them, or they haven't heard the song Fuck the Police. Only cool underground people like me know about it. But I pulled the song out and I started blasting it as loud as I could on my phone, which isn't that loud, and I started blasting Fuck the Police. Or I was going to. What happened was it was a YouTube video of a song and an ad popped up. And then finally the song Fuck the Police played. And he just kind of giggled a little bit. And said, "That's very funny," and he actually laughed. He was actually a really nice guy, but I didn't care because he's a fucking cop. And I was like, fuck you, cop, don't laugh at the song. The song is about you and your police force brutalizing us innocents. And he's like, listen, I'm not trying to make a problem. And I was like, how do you talk with all those fucking donuts in your mouth? And he's like, I don't have any donuts in my mouth. And I was like, shut up, cop! And I went and I kicked him right in the shin, and guess what he did? He fucking tased me! He tased me, bruh! Cop tased me! I was lying on the ground, and all my neighbors were watching by this point, and my neighbors said that I was on the ground crying, but I wasn't. It was just really windy out, and the wind hit my eye. And, he took me to jail overnight, and the whole time I was in a jail cell saying, wait till you're so lucky I didn't get what you did on camera. Because if I did, you guys would be in so much trouble. And then this really big other cop came in and really started yelling at me. And all the other guys that were, in the holding cell with me said I was crying again. But I wasn't. It was just really windy in the cell. So that's my story about police brutality. If you got any stories about, the punk-ass police brutalizing you for no reason other than that they're abusing their power, leave it in the comment section or do what you gotta do. But we as a people have to stand up and fight against these cops. This is Gurf Gersten signing off.